Hi everyone! So, following my previous couple of videos that I have published, it's now to find out what books I'm going to be reading in 2018, the very first book. But one thing that I wanted to do slightly different this year, I'm still going to do the fiction, non-fiction jars and alternate between them and everything. But I really liked that it's a couple of points of the year that, because I was so desperate to read a certain fiction book or a certain non-fiction book, that I quite like having the thought of choosing one for myself at certain points of the year. So I've decided that in January, beginning of the year, June, the middle of the year, and December at the end of the year, I am going to specifically choose books that I want to read at that time. The rest of the year, I'm going to do the jars and everything, choose randomly, as I've always done. But I really like the thought of being able to pick what I want to read. And there are two books I want to read right now, one fiction and one non-fiction, and we're going into January, so it fits the criteria totally for what I'm going to be doing. So on this video I'm going to announce the first fiction and non-fiction that I'm going to be reading this year based on my choice. Okay, so the first one, the fiction, is the one I'm going to be reading first. And this is one I've actually borrowed from a friend who recommended it to me. She said, oh, I'll lend you my copy and we can talk about it. She lent it to me 6 weeks ago and I still haven't picked it up because of my other reading. I just haven't been able to. And it's one that I hadn't heard of before. And that is Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. Now, I'll read the blurb on the back for you. So this follows a girl called Cora. So it says, Cora is a slave on the cotton plantation in Georgia. On a cotton plantation in Georgia, sorry. An existence made even more hellish by her status as an outcast amongst her fellow Africans. She is approaching womanhood where greater pain and danger awaits. So when Caesar, a slave recently arrived from Virginia, tells her about the Underground Railroad, Cora takes the momentous decision to accompany him on his escape to the north. In this razor-sharp novel, the Underground Railroad has assumed a physical form, a dilapidated boxcar pulled by a steam locomotive, picking up fugitives wherever it can. Thus begins Cora's perilous journey as she is pursued by a ruthless slave catcher named Ridgway, obsessed both with Cora and her mother, who had eluded him years before. So yeah, my friend Sam, she told me about this book and I found what she was telling me so intriguing. So she said, oh, I'll lend you my copy and then we can talk about it. And I haven't been able to read it and I really want to read it. So my first read of 2018, which is what, day after tomorrow, my God, already, is Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. Really excited to read this. And so, as I said, because I want to do in my January, I want to pick what I read. I want to pick my non-fiction as well. So I have picked a book that came out of my Christmas Christmas book purchases, which is on my previous video, and that is Take Courage, Anne Bronte and the Art of Life by Samantha Ellis. In case you didn't see that video, basically, Samantha Ellis is a lifelong lover of Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre. She always thought Anne Bronte was the least talented sister. She hadn't really read her work, so she picked up one of Anne's books and was absolutely blown away by it, to the point that she decided to research into Anne's life and go on this journey of discovery of who Anne was. And this book follows her journey, so it's not just a biography of Anne, it's this woman's journey to find out about this feminist icon who she always thought was nothing, and why that was. And I'm so excited to read this, because after reading Tenant Wildfire Hall about a month ago, Anne has just blown me away, just in the same way as she did Samantha. So I am desperate to read this book, Take Courage, Anne Bronte and the Art of Life by Samantha Ellis. So these are the first two books I'm going to be reading for 2018. As I said, after this, obviously depending on how long I take, I might still choose my next book you know, myself rather than through the jars, because it may still be January, or it may, and if it's not, then I will be going back to picking randomly. I'm going to be choosing books specifically to read, as I said, in January, June and December. But other than that, it'd be a total random. So I will be back with my thoughts on Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad as soon as I am done. Alright guys, I hope you don't mind me doing my own choices for a bit, but it won't be for long, but obviously a month will go like that, I'm sure. Yeah, I'll be back with my thoughts on The Underground Railroad as soon as I finish reading it. Alright then guys, bye.